What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and today on Christmas Eve we are going to be taking a look at the two quote-unquote new Iron Banner weapons arriving with the first Iron Banner of Season 5 tomorrow. So what we're going to be doing today is taking a look at these weapons within the database, their stats, their archetypes, the perks they can spawn with, and the potential god rolls they can get, so you're fully prepared to grind out these weapons or completely ignore them when the time comes and Iron Banner launches. And so, let's get started. But first, the Rick Cactus merch is only available for December, so only a few days left to get it. I know you guys love making that comment, so it's time to pull through. Live the meme, live the dream. Alright, let's get started here with the first weapon. And at the beginning of the video I said quote-unquote new because these are technically reskins of Year 1 Iron Banner weapons. However, now they can spawn with random rolls, almost essentially making them brand new guns. So, let's kick things off here with the Hero's Burden Legendary Energy SMG. Its archetype is 900 rounds per minute, so that's the fastest firing, lowest damage archetype. Now, in terms of its stats, well, things are actually really good. It's got phenomenal range for this archetype of SMG, so much so that the Hero's Burden, although it never broke the meta or anything in Year 1, it was a legitimate choice and you did see people using this from time to time in PvP. In fact, we have a really easy comparison for this weapon because there's another legendary Iron Banner Energy SMG that belongs to the same 900 rounds per minute archetype, the Breath of the Dragon. And when we compare these weapons, we kind of see the superiority of the Hero's Burden. Although the Breath of the Dragon does have a tiny bit better stability, I think 1 point better stability, and it does have better handling, the Hero's Burden beats it where it matters most. Substantially more range and also quite a bit better reload speed. It also has one more aim assist if that matters to you. So, Hero's Burden is definitely, I think, going to replace the chase for a good Breath of the Dragon roll. In fact, speaking of roll, let's take a look at what's possible on the Hero's Burden. Well, in terms of really good perks you're looking for, firstly, in the second category, we have high caliber rounds, which on this archetype of SMG can be very deadly. You can really build up that flinch. And you can also get ricochet rounds as well to increase the range and the stability. You are going to need stability on this weapon, especially if you are trying to engage people from those further ranges like this weapon is capable of. Now, in terms of other perks you may want to look for, the first row doesn't have too many amazing things. Zen Moment is undoubtedly a good perk. Under Pressure may be good, as well as Slideways might be alright. But it's that second row where the really good stuff comes out. Kill Clip is notably here, as is Tap the Trigger and Dynamic Sway Reduction. You do also have High Impact Reserves, which I don't mind. So in terms of what you're looking for, to me the best roll would be something like High Caliber Rounds, Zen Moment, Kill Clip. But a role such as Zen Moment, Dynamic Sway Reduction, or even Under Pressure, Dynamic Sway Reduction, or Tap the Trigger, all of those are going to make this weapon a lot more usable and really combine well with those great base stats. Essentially, if you're someone who enjoyed using the Breath of the Dragon, heck, if you enjoy using a 900 rounds per minute SMG overall, the Hero's Burden has some of the best stats in the category, period, and it's definitely worth going after if you're someone who does enjoy that archetype. Moving on from there, we have the second Iron Banner weapon being added, the CRIMIL'S Dagger Legendary Kinetic Hand Cannon. In terms of the archetype here, it belongs to the slowest shooting, highest damaging archetype with the 110 rounds per minute hand cannon archetype. Now, in terms of its stats, frankly, it's painfully average in terms of stats. Like, we came for the Hero's Burden and that excels in stats. The CRIMIL'S Dagger really doesn't. In fact, when we compare it to another weapon of the same archetype that I'm sure you guys are familiar with from Forsaken, the Duke MK44, this is a very common weapon. The Duke just beats it everywhere. Like, the Duke has better range, better stability, better handling, better reload speed. Now, notably, it's not that much better, whereas the Hero's Burden, like, blew out the Breath's range. The Duke is just slightly better in all of those categories, but it still remains that the Duke is better in all of those categories. So Really, the only place where the CRIMIL'S Dagger excels is in those secondary stats like recoil direction and aim assist. But let's take a look at the possible perk spawns of this weapon. Firstly, in the second category, we do have accurized rounds if you want to go absolutely bananas with that range. We do also have steady rounds, which this archetype does need some added stability. You shoot it once and it's all over the place. So if you want some sort of a PvE role, a steady rounds may be what you actually want to look for. Now, in terms of the other sets of perks, you can actually get the Wombo combo of Outlaw plus Kill Clip. Undoubtedly powerful, undoubtedly useful, and for PvE, like, that's something that's legitimately a pretty powerful option. You don't mind, shooting a little bit slower and really not having a super duper optimal time to kill like you would mind in PvP, because in PvE, you're basically one-shotting most enemies here with this archetype of hand cannon, and Outlaw and Kill Clip is going to work very well in a PvE environment. Other perks of note, triple tap definitely isn't bad, especially with a pretty low magazine size of only 8. We also have the possibility of explosive rounds and timed payload. Both of these perks actually aren't that bad in either PvP or PvE. PvE especially, because it does so much damage, something like explosive rounds is going to be a legitimate option. Shoot a group of Thrall with an explosive rounds CRIMIL'S and they're all just going to die. Like, it'll actually be pretty darn useful there. Now, notably, this can't spawn with a rapid hit, which has actually emerged as a pretty good perk with this archetype of hand cannon, drastically increasing the stability after only a couple of shots. But funny enough, it can actually spawn with Zen Moment, which is a reasonable replacement for that perk. Potentially, Zen Moment could result in some interesting roles. Unfortunately, in terms of a PvE environment, like, all the good perks really are in that second category. In that first category, you're really just looking at Outlaw, potentially triple tap, maybe snapshot sights. I mean, I can't imagine you would want any more range with rangefinder, but like maybe that. All the good perks are really in that second tier: explosive rounds, opening shot, Zen Moment, Kill Clip especially, and timed payload. And this is another example similar to the Hero's Burden of the fact that this archetype of hand cannon is not owning the meta right now. It's not really in the meta, but there are some people who enjoy using these type of hand cannons. If you're someone who likes the Duke, it may be worth taking a look at the Dagger, especially because the Duke cannot spawn with either timed payload or explosive rounds. So if those are perks that you value on your hand cannon, definitely look at the Dagger. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter, linked in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and as always, have a good day.